Are you looking for more out of your life? Do you need ideas on how to start new businesses and how to move forward in your own personal life? Well, guess what? You have come to the right radio show. At You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, you will learn and hear from many people from all walks of life who are sharing their challenges, their stories, the habits, and the mind shifts they had to overcome to become who they are today. On top, you will get a chance to connect and see how you can overcome anything by networking and learning about your next move through this radio show. I present to you our great speakers at You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to You Can Overcome Anything podcast show. It is your host, Cesar Espino, and you can find me at www.cesarrespino.com. And today I have a very special guest. His name is Billy Alt. And let me give you a little bit about Billy before we get started. Billy entered the housing industry in 1989 at the age of 19 years old, working for the number one home seller in the U.S. And by the age of 25, he was the general manager of a top 3 housing sales center in the United States. During the downturn of the mid-2000s, Billy took his wealth to knowledge and founded 700 Credit Repair. Now a credit and financial service industry leader, Billy oversees the daily activities at 700 Credit Repair, 700 marketing services and lead gen, 700 business credit, and 700 DIY credit repair software. Billy, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, sir. How are you, Cesar? Thank you so much for having me this morning, man. I'm really excited about talking to you, and and I miss you, man. I miss you.
Yeah.
We met like back in, I guess, September, face to face.
Yeah, it was September, August, probably even around that time. Yeah, definitely the last quarter of last year. Yeah, thank you for having me at your place. You have a pretty nice place there.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you, and again, thanks for not only having me on your show and on your podcast, man, but thanks for like spreading the word and helping to keep people informed and educated. You know, I've been talking here for a few minutes earlier, but, and I'm really excited about the conversation that we're going to have and stuff. And
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I wanted to start just to kind of set the stage and just kind of give the people an idea of who you are. What's your background story? If you can give us a little bit of you, right?
Yeah, no, my background, I have started in the manufactured housing industry actually when I was 19 years old in '89, and worked for a very large manufactured home company, Palm Harbor Homes. Was a sales manager in Dallas. At 24, transferred out to Tyler, took over a store, region, and so on and so forth. The company went public. We really grew. And then in about, I guess it was '06, 04 actually, I felt, Cesar, that I had hit a glass ceiling or plateau, whatever you want to call it, man. I just inside, I just wasn't, fulfilled, had a great job, was doing wonderful things, great, community, all that stuff. But man, I just had like an absence for whatever reason. I wanted to run my own company. I wanted to have my own business. And so that's what I did. I went out on my own, opened a couple dealerships. And unfortunately for me, for everybody, they changed the way you can finance mobile homes. Rick Perry passed a bill called House Bill 1869. And they changed the way you finance mobile homes. Typically a manufactured home would be financed like a car, a chattel loan, a title loan. Well, because of the schools and prorating taxes and taxes not being prorated on manufactured homes and chattel loans, Rick Perry signed a bill to enforce that. They changed the way lending was done in Texas. And we went from, man, I always say 30 lenders. We went from probably 30 to 35 banks, finance companies, mortgage companies, lenders that supplied our money to our clients down to 2, one of which was cash. And it killed the industry. It killed the industry. So I, at that point, really entered into the buying REOs. I closed down my dealerships. Actually moved from Tyler back to Dallas, and we were buying and flipping houses, REOs. And every person that I came into contact with, it seemed like they had a bump or bruise or whatever on their credit. And, being on a high volume sales center, where people, 50, 60, 70 people a week would come to us, to our store to look at houses. We understood credit. We, the general manager, whatever of those dealerships, we were responsible for staffing and all that stuff, but also the mortgage and the finance and the dealing with the lenders. So that's where I chipped my teeth in the credit. Credit. I was looking at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of credit reports, and I've actually, from there, we started flipping houses, helping people with credit, and I just got very, very serious about it. And then in 2007, I formally opened 700 Credit Repair, and we went full time on strictly credit. And man, I thought that I understood credit, knew what was going on, and until I really dove in and went and got, I'm a consumer credit expert, certified to offer testimony in court, and I'm a FICO expert and stuff. So, over the last 13 years, we really, Melissa, also my wife, who's my partner, we really perfected our craft and really taken it to a complete different level, and which I'm glad we have, because in those days you could just send over a fax and get things disputed, removed, whatever, and it's no longer like that with all the electronic and e-Oscar and processes in place, So that's kind of how what has landed me to here, and now to date, I'm proud to say we just surpassed 20,000 documented credit reports repaired and cleaned and stuff. So
wow, that's amazing.
We've really grown our little company over the last 14 years. So
yeah. It's so from doing something else, doing the mobile homes and all that stuff. The idea of a different idea came out, right? I mean, did you ever see yourself getting into doing the credit repair? Because obviously something grew out of that. You saw an opportunity and you decided to take that opportunity. But did you ever think that was going to be your direction?
No, I never did. And man, it's just funny how God works and how things happen and how the universe lines up. No, in fact, I don't know that anybody grew up wanting to be a credit repair salesperson.
Yeah, right.
Serious.
Yeah.
Man, through helping people, and what really did it for me was leaving corporate America, getting out of that environment, because in that environment at that time, if somebody couldn't buy, it was almost like, get them out of here, get the next one that can. Seriously, and that was not just the mobile home business. That was all industries. It seems like it was like that. So when I left corporate America, started my own deal, closed down my own deal, and then was literally out driving around looking for foreclosures and HUD houses for people, and taking somebody from a 560 credit score to a 630, 40, and they actually enjoy that process, and they hug you and make you a banana pudding. Like, that's special, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that changed me, and like my compassion for helping people, and again, I had, by that point, I had 15, 18, 20 years of sales experience, right?
Yeah.
So it was no longer a business whenever I started entering into seasons or has some credit issues. Man, no problem. Let's work on that. Then let's go find you a great house. If you need to move in on the front side, we can figure something out. You know what I'm saying? So that was so much different than people lining up during the healthy economy trying to buy trailer houses. And we were really just like taking numbers or whatever, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
Where my passion came from, and where my drive came from, that, man, and it's not hard to fix. It's really not. It's just knowing the calculations and the chess moves. Like, as you know,
yeah.
And credit's not checkers, man. It's chess is all it is. If you know what play you got coming up, like, you're good to go. So it's not hard to fix. It's very life changing. And so we've gotten Melissa too, man. We've gotten, as you know, my son works for me, and we're just, we dig what we're doing. We're actually now starting a real estate team, which I'm super excited about.
Oh, cool.
There are so many people out there that need houses that are seriously 20, 30, 40 points away on a credit score, yet they continue to rent for years and years and years. And right now, renting could end up being a problem. I mean, our government's going to step in and help us and work with us and protect us. I believe that they don't want another 08, 09. Renters don't have that same luxury. They just don't. If, the laws, at least in Texas, with the Homestead Acts and all that stuff, like, a mortgage company can't just come, like, sit your stuff up. especially during times like this. Renters, a landlord, that's a different story. So,
Right.
I just want to help people become homeowners and do the things that they do.
I know that's awesome. And I found out about Colt. He's actually the same age as my daughter, and I'll just show this. For everyone watching, they need to pick up your book. And I want to touch base on this really quickly. You talk a lot about the things that you're mentioning right now in your book. What was the whole purpose of you writing a book, and what were you trying to accomplish with that?
Um, I wanted to, my book is really my business card, man. So my motivation right out of the gate, it was never to like write a book to teach something it was really for Caesar to get to know me. I deal with
Yeah.
in my CRM, I have over 1,900 realtors, mortgage guys I do business with.
Wow.
But business with all of them? No, but I do business with them. So I wanted something like when I walk into a room with 30 mortgage guys, I want to be able to hand my book. I want to be able to hand my book. Like that's who I am. That's my story. If I don't do relationships or partnerships or work with people so much as like our relationships that we have, man, we're very tight. Like our deal, the business summit that we had at my place, like Tiffany and Sid comes in, we're like family. Like know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, if I do business with you, like I'm gonna give it my all, man. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I seriously, like we go all in, and so I think it's important for people to understand who I am, where I've been, what my background is, because if you are a mortgage guy, a realtor, a car guy, whatever, and you're dealing with people on a day-to-day basis who need help, and you're referring them to somebody, man, I don't pay like these $25 referral fees and all that. I want people to send me customers because they want to do what's right for that person.
Right.
And I'll give them back to you, credit cleaned up. But even if I don't, it's still the right thing to do, man. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for me, my book was like it's my business card. It's really who I am. And as a business person, I just feel like I needed to be a little bit different in the room. I've spent the last 5 years, I'm no longer doing it now. I'm doing my own coaching, but I coached under a couple of different influencers, mentors, and each one of them told me, hey, write a book, write a book, write a book. But I'm going to write another one. And that book is my first book, Constructing Success, is kind of like my life story, whatever you want to call it. But I want to do a book. I want to do an educational book. I want to do so my next one's going to be different. But I can tell you this, it's very effective for credibility. And I guess for just like getting your story out there. I was never proud about closing my dealerships and having to lay people off and going through a divorce. But man, whenever I put that in my book and writing, it was very empowering and it's like, that's who I am, man. If you don't like it, like, don't read it.
Right, exactly. You know what? And you, and you said a couple of things that I think are pretty critical. Number one is you're building your business around networking. You're building your business around doing the right thing. And a lot of people, even nowadays, they don't do that. They don't really worry about the people. It's just like the numbers. For you, and that's part of the reason, like you said, you kind of left corporate to an extent because you were not doing the right thing, right? And so you wanted to do the right thing. And the second thing is, man, a good way for you to differentiate yourself from anybody else and say, here, I'm here to help you out is through this book, because that is your business card. That is, you're pretty much an open book, right? I mean, you're telling everybody who you are, how I can help you. Let's do some business together because it's part of that networking. So that's something that I probably empower a lot of people to do is how can you differentiate yourself in anything that you're doing? It doesn't matter if you have your own business, just, in general. And then number two, doing the right thing is always going to pay off, right? And that's exactly what you're doing.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, let me shift gears a little bit. Right now, we're in very difficult times, and I want to, pick your brain a little bit about what's going on right now in not just in the U.S., literally all over the place, right? And so, how critical it is for you. I know you talk a lot about the mindset on your book. Right now, with COVID-19 and going through all these different challenges, how critical is the mindset in taking and looking at what's going on? Like, how critical is that in your opinion?
Man, for me, it's 90% of it, buddy. It is. Whenever 19 years old, went to work for my first mentor, boss, Scott Cheney, guy, like, gave me a chance when nobody else would. Man, I remember like it was yesterday. One of the very first things he gave me, he wrote down I don't know if it's a poem or a saying or what you would call it. It's called Attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And so I memorized that like a long, long time ago. So, and it's basically uh, life is 90%, of attitude, 10% of how I react to what happens to me,
Right.
So right now during this time, man, like it could get bad because you take it from like the workplace. People are nervous and worried. You take it home, kids aren't in school, moms are edgy, dads are screaming. Seriously, like it could get like a bad attitude is not going to help this at all.
Right.
Like that's not going to get us through this. My hope and my thing is, and the reason I'm able to keep my attitude as it has been and will be, is man, I think we learned from this. Like this ain't our first rodeo. In
Right.
2007, 6, 7, 8, like we had some problems, and you and I just had this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't world based. There wasn't people dying from it. I totally
Right.
get that, right. Get that. This is a game changer. This is a pandemic. This is worldwide. There are people losing their lives over this. So I
Right.
honestly, to goodness, think, man, if we have to flatten this thing, whether I don't think it's going to be 2 to 4 weeks. I think we flatten this thing for as we discussed,
Yep.
2 to 3 months. If we have to flatten it for 90 days and stay in, man, like I told Cole the other day, my dad grew up in the Great Depression, fought the Korean War. Like I can stay home for 90 days. It's okay. Economy wise, can I pay my bills? That's another issue. But I really feel like Caesar, I think that we learned from '08 and even the 90s and the recessions or whatever you want to call it prior to that. But man, I think that I think we'll get a pause for this. I think the big three credit bureaus, there's some things being passed right now at Congress, and where they won't report for it once the pandemic's over 120 days after the pandemic. There can be no negative credit reporting. So that means if you pay me a payment today if Trump ends the pandemic in 3 months, they can't report anything negative about you for 6 months. So that's going to let us clean house and get things back together. I was a little bit nervous about, and I still am. Like if I have my cell phone and my electric bill, and my water bill, and all that stuff, prolonged for 2, 3, 4 months, that money is going to come due. On a house, I'll get pausing the term for 2 months. On an auto, I get pausing the term for 2 or 3 months and tagging the money on the back. The bank's going to get their money one way or the other.
Right.
On an electric bill, it's not like that. If I owe you 3 or 4 months of electric and then I move apartments, I'm probably not going to pay that electric bill.
True. Yeah, that's right.
Or a cell phone bill. If I go get a new T-Mobile now instead of paying that, I think that's going to be a problem. I think that's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a credit nightmare that's going to have all kinds of issues. And I think people will use every lame-ass excuse in the book that they can to blame it on that, when that's not going to be the case.
Right.
So I'm telling people, our circle, my family, my employees, and I have a coaching group of people in our coaching group that I'm talking to, like, man, only do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like a mortgage, I think it's smart. I think if you have a $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000 mortgage payment and you can get 2 free months, not free months, if you can get 2 prolonged months, no interest accruing, it becomes a 2-month longer note. That's a no-brainer. If you got a $500 truck payment, I think that's a no-brainer. I think it's kind of dumb at this point to start like putting off electric. I would probably cancel my cable before I put my cable bill off.
Right.
I don't need $300 worth of cable in 3 months. Seriously, think about that.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's my concern, man. That's my concern. I don't think people need to just start, because I'm hearing people like, when am I getting my check? I don't want $1,000 check. I mean, I'll take it, sure. But $1,000 check is not what I'm after. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what that's going to do anyway, how that's even going to help. But I feel like, people need to, like, let's not just stick our hand out and try to screw and gank our creditors just because we can. I mean, like, I think that we need to use this if we need it. It's not like filing bankruptcy where you absolutely burn everybody and take down everything, So that's my only concern.
And and that's crazy. That's one thing that I seen the last week. I mean, really, there's so many things that have been unfolding for the last weeks. Like literally every day something's changing, right? And I'm out here in California, and just going out on the streets and seeing things. I'm already seeing people taking advantage of the situation, and it's in essence, it's a little bit sad to see that, because again, this is not affecting just a community or a city or a state; it's worldwide. And so, to me, we should be all helping each other, overcoming this obstacle that we're going through. And so, I can see your point too. I can see how people might try to play the system or tweak the system, and then don't do the right thing for their creditors. And so that's number one. The second thing is, kind of going back to the mindset. I feel like there's so much negativity, and obviously if you just sit in the couch and just watch the news and do all this stuff, all you're gonna see is, for the most part, is gonna be 90% of it is going to be negative stuff, right? And so one thing that I put on Facebook a couple of days back, I said, just focus positively on what you are able to control. There's things that we cannot control, and there's nothing you can do, except if you focus on the things that you can control positively, your mindset is going to help you get through this, right? Right now, people need that hope, people need that ideas as to how to be able to sustain this, whether it's going to be a month or 2 or 3 months. And we both agree that it might be more like 3 months. And so we got to stay positive through that journey, right? And you kind of touched on that, and I just wanted to maybe see what are some of the tips that you can give us, because again, going through this, and if you're not working or you're hardly working because they cut down on your hours, I know a lot of people are going to be worried about their credit. And I know, and I've seen already that in the next 30 days, people that have a good credit might go down. And you mentioned a few things already, except what are some of the things that we can do or people can do during these tough times?
Man, I think, like right now, I think it's a tremendous time for growth. Caesar, you sell, you understand the importance of a digital program and,
right. Yep.
Or live, you get that, right? So I think we're there, we're there in this world. So one, no matter what people do as far as where they work or their career or stuff, like we all have a story or an expertise or something, whether it's like shining auto rims, mowing grass, edging lawns, or credit repair, or flipping houses. Seriously. So, man, I would encourage everybody to get a digital product. Make a digital product. You can do digital product. There's a group. I mentor under Sean Whalen. I'm one of his groups. Hey, there's a group. This is no joke. There's a group that somebody we were making fun of. There's a group that is like $8 a month. Some kind of like foot fetish group. I don't even know what that means. I just
yeah.
So seriously, like somebody must do really fancy toast if they have a group of like 3,500 people that pay them $8 a month to be in this group to look at feet pictures. It's craziest crap you've ever seen.
Wow. Yeah.
So like for me, I have a coaching group. I have our Trophyholics coaching group, and we're writing a book coming up in there, and I'm working with some guys right now on creating some digital products and some digital programs. You know what I'm saying? So like reach out to like me and get in there and create some assets and some wealth for later or whatever. You like right now, I know you have a digital program. I mean, I would reach out to you. I don't even know what your digital program costs. I would think $3, $4, $5 probably. I mean, just off the top of my head. But like, if I can't pay that, I could probably reach out to you and say, hey man, like work with me, help me out. I want to learn how to flip houses. I'm not working. I'm at home. I would rather take, I don't have $3,000 to give you for your deal, but man, like that's what I would do. And the internet's a great place to get stuff. The problem with the internet, man, you gotta go through much BS and then research what you're researching to see if it's even true. That's why I'm a group guy, a Facebook guy. Like I know whatever you put out in your groups, and the stuff, I know it's accurate. I know it's fact. I know it's real. I don't have to go research that on the field. Like if you say like this is how you get money for flipping houses in this situation, like I don't need to go research. I'm gonna take your advice.
Right.
Cut off the shortcut, take the shortcut for you and not go through 5 years of it. I'm going to cut up to the front of the line and give you a little piece of the pie. Seriously. Right now, I think and I know what that has done for me over the last 4 to 5 years. If I had not jumped on social media, created digital products, got all over it, what I knew was coming 10 years ago when I did, my credit repair company right now, I would be sitting there waiting for my telephone to ring. I'd be waiting for my phone to ring, as opposed to getting my word out, getting my message. Listen, people are still doing business. People are still making money. People are still getting salaries. People still need their credit fixed. People are still trying to buy houses with 560 scores that meet 600s. That's just life. It will always happen.
Right.
I have a much easier way to find them and stay in front of them this right here, as opposed to waiting for them to walk into my office. Why? Because I've created assets. I've built digital products. I have aligned myself with guys like you a long time ago, knowing like this ain't going nowhere, man. This should be a very big eye opener for a lot of people. Like nobody should be sitting around right now doing. It's Saturday morning, 10:30. I'm on a podcast with you. That I don't know if one person sees it and I help, or if one person sees it and calls my office and signs up with one of my salespeople and they make their 200 commission and I make my whatever, and like that's good, man. That's good. But I think people are still moving and shaking. I think that that there are people that can't, i.e. waitresses, i.e. if I'm a Walmart employee and my hours went from 40 to 10, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? But I think that we're going to keep moving, and I think it's a great time to take advantage of that, whether it's credit. Like right now, I'm telling you right now, there's never been a better time in the history of credit bureaus to work on your credit. That's just my belief, my opinion. And here's why. They're keeping it very, very silent, hush, hush, if they have closed the big three bureaus. But even if they haven't, like there will be people calling in sick because my kids are out of school and I can't, whatever. I don't have a babysitter for them. So I know this. I know at the bureau level, there's going to be absentees. There's going to be short staffing. So I think it's a great time to take care of that. One thing they have not mentioned was extending the dispute process for creditors, for the bureaus, which is a good thing. That means if I send something, they still have their 30 days. If there's nobody there to 30 days, like if you can't prove it, you got to remove it, period. So right now is a great time to credit work, raise your score, stuff like
and I think right now too, like you mentioned, you hit it. You don't just sit on, and just sit around and wait for something to happen or for things to get normal, because it's gonna take some time for that to get back to normal. If it gets back to where it was a month or two ago, right? The biggest thing is today is an opportunity to create something, whether it's some sort of, like you said, like a digital product or something, right? And it's the time to start thinking about what can I do that I can help other people, because again, getting creative right now is the best time I see it. And I've been listening and hearing some people talk about, well, I'm not able to go see clients, or I'm not able to. I was talking to somebody and they were telling me, I cannot go see my clients. They're in sales because we're quarantined and we cannot go into that. And I said, well, then we have to create a different way. It's one of my clients. I said, we have to create a different way on how you can still go to that client without being there physically and getting them interested on what you have to offer, right? What the stuff that you have to offer. And I said, there's means to do that. It could be like this, what you and I are doing, right? Get on a Zoom or some sort of web meeting platform where it's not just over the phone. You actually get to see the person and see their physiology, see how they're reacting to that, and just have the conversation. And so we have to reinvent ourselves to adjust ourselves to what we're going through right now. Otherwise, you're going to end up staying behind the ball game, right?
That's a fact. Yeah. And man, it's not, and it's a good place to be in. It's in fact what it's gotten where it's got me to is I don't really even like, unless I'm in an event or go like, this is how I do business. This is the new normal. I don't even check my office, my girls check. I don't even check it anymore. My messenger is my telephone. It really is.
Yeah.
If somebody calls my office number, it's a customer wanting to sign up or they're needing info on this or whatever. Seriously, you know what I'm saying? Like I do business in Messenger. I do business like this. Mm-hmm. I would rather, and you're right. Right now during this slow time, if you want to like get to that next level or whatever, then reach out to guys like Caesar, guys like me. Like man, I'd love to get some Zoom calls going with you, some little stuff at night. So we do a lot of those little mastermind things like that. It's shocking what comes out of that and how healthy that is for your mind. And man, there's so many different ways to make money right now. My buddy Brandon Gazaway sells vitamins and all that stuff. Man, he's manufacturing hand soap right now.
Wow.
So and yeah, he has the equipment to do it, but like, even look, we all have a following. We do. We really do. So whether you're trying to level up and learn and educate, that's one thing. But man, you'd be surprised at how many people need us, need you. And I'm not talking. I know you know that they need you. I'm talking about like they need you. Like you're, whether you're a car salesperson, walking through the lot, man, those service guys and stuff like look up to y'all. You know what I'm saying? They do. Like they're like, oh, damn, almost like he makes all the money. He's the cool guy, like, or whatever. So like, slap them guys on the back a little bit. Or you know, if you're an employer, like your employees need you more than ever. Or if you're not any of that, still, I believe we all have a following. We all have something to give and some way to motivate. So like, there's a way to come up with a digital product, or me and you see it all the time.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Where were we on that one? You know, and really, the cheaper stuff right now is really the best. Like, you know, little ebooks or just little video digital things and stuff. So yeah, man, like right now is a great time to get into all that. Because it ain't going nowhere. Like this, I hope this is an eye opener for a lot of people.
Well, it should be. I think it's a wake up call to do something, right? I think call it, you know, whatever you want to, whatever you believe in, whether it's God, divine power, the universe, is kind of knocking you on the head and saying, wake up and do something for your life. Do something, right? I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. It's an eye opener. It's definitely something we have to do. Now, what I know you're big on networking, right? And so obviously with the whole aspect of us not being able to get into groups and, you know, have all that stuff, how would you take on networking, you know, during these times?
Say that a little bit deeper.
Yeah. So right. So in the respect of, you know, going into like a mastermind, like I know you have this, you have, you know, networking in your place, people come over, you guys talk about whatever the case may be. Now, the fact that you cannot do that, what would be one idea on how you can still do that or be part of something like that?
I'm sorry. Zoom calls is what I'm doing right now. Caesar, I'm sure you are too, like what we're doing right now. And the cool thing, and for those of y'all that don't know that technology or haven't got there yet, whatever, it's the Zoom, ZOOM, and basically you conference in like this, and you can add what, 15, 20 people.
Yeah, you can even have up to 300 depending on what you have. For the free version, you can have like, I don't know, like 20, 30 people. You can definitely have a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then also a cool thing about the Zoom calls and stuff are, you can mute everyone else or whatever, but you can interact and talk. I'm a big Facebook guy. I'm a big group guy. People pay it's not they pay a lot of money. There's a lot of people willing to like join groups and resources and stuff like that. So, you know, on a paid group, that's another great way to communicate, like a live videos inside of a group, which I like those too. If I'm like just training, because then I can't get interrupted. Like right now, I'll give you on this, people are asking questions. The minute I did start looking, I lost you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And that's the problem with the Zoom call. So like, it really depends on the platform. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, whenever we're doing social media training or stuff, then I like to do my live videos or videos inside of a Facebook group. But like, whenever it's more of the stuff that we do, talk and masterminding, whatever you want to call it, then like Zoom calls or the platform. Is there something else out there that I'm missing? What do you guys do?
No, I mean, I was going to say that. I mean, my whole point to that is that sometimes people tend to limit themselves and they have this limiting belief that there's not a way to do it. There's other platforms for sure. Zoom is one of the ones that is well known, and you can definitely do that. Have masterminds. I have an accountability group that I, you know, kind of talking about digital programs or things like that. I hold and host an accountability where I help people, you know, overcome beliefs and hold them accountable and create different aspects. Anyways, because we couldn't meet in like we normally do, we did it to here. We did it to Zoom, and we had a pretty good success. And so again, my whole point to this is that there's no real excuse if you like networking, if you like to learn from people like you or I, they need to jump in this kind of groups and in this kind of settings. Don't let this COVID-19 stop you from doing that or anything for that matter. right? And that was my point to
It's
that.
everywhere. It's every industry. Like people say, "Oh, my customers aren't on." Yeah, your customers are on Facebook. Your customers absolutely are on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
And I'll tell you something else that I just learned. The average time over like the last 4 days, 5 days now, I guess, the average time per person in America on Facebook, actually maybe worldwide, it was 6 hours. It's 10 hours a day. The
Wow.
average person is 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Those numbers are stupid.
Yeah.
So why would you not be on Facebook? Why, regardless of what you're doing? Like I get like landscapers are going to still get to mow grass because it's going to grow and they're outside and stuff. But like, there's just
But even for them, that's a good way. It's a good way for them to get on Facebook and promote their business, prospecting, right? Like if an average American is, or person is in Facebook 10 hours, there's an opportunity for you to help them somehow,
people
through your services.
That's right. They're not answering the door or going to
Right.
whatever. They're not bumping into these guys or reading the flyers on your door. So you're right. Like grass still needs mowing.
Yeah.
How do I want to get in front of those people? Facebook's how you get in front of them. Community groups, community pages, landscaper tip groups, whatever you want to. Like it's just so effective, and it's just common sense. You got to think, where are my customers? Like my credit repair customers, people with bad credit who I want to market. Where are they at right now? Where are they hanging out? Are they in groups? Are they on their timeline? They're all over Facebook where they're at. They start. So you just got to think outside of the box right now. Take advantage of that. 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Nobody wants to watch the news, man. People aren't watching the news.
No.
Like you said, they're going to their groups or they're going. I get my news and stuff through social media. I really do, and like I know who to believe and who not to.
Yeah.
It's a good time to like, I don't know, get all that stuff planned out and thought through. I mean, if you're gonna have a little bit of dip in income or you got all this downtime, man, like start doing something with it. Because the cool thing, what I've learned though, is, and this is where we're going. I'm very hip on funnels and like the reason I wrote my book and the groups and all that stuff. And I see people, 80% of Americans are still, it's foreign to them. So for a marketing platform or an advertising platform, man, it doesn't take long because the people who understand it, it's not hard to figure out. You come in, boom, get on it. It's instant clients, regardless of what you do, So exciting times, man. It's scary times and exciting times. But
it is. It definitely it is. And so I just have a couple more questions for you. Like going through this, I mean, and again, they're exciting, but they're very difficult times too. So what would be some of your tips you can tell people that they can do or act upon during these tough times to really overcome?
Do not put your head in the sand. Don't bury your head in the sand. Whatever's on the other side of this is on the other side of this. I get put out with some of my customers sometimes, especially my younger ones. They'll drop off their mail. They'll drop off we'll be doing credit repair with them, and then they'll just come drop off 20 collection letters. Those aren't my letters. Then you open the letters, and half of them sometimes may be new collections. You know what I'm saying? Like if you would pull your head straight out of that sand pile and like open your mail, you would see it's a $27 doctor bill. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's not a judgment. They're not trying to come pick up your car today. And if they do, like, let them have it. Like, we'll cross that bridge too. Seriously. So I would say, don't put your head in the sand. Don't don't ignore possible payments that could become late. If I know my income is going from $2,500 a month to $600 a month, man, I can't make my $800 car payment. I may as well call Chase and get ready for that. Like, let's have that conversation. What do I need to do? What programs are out there? What are you guys doing? If I wanted to pause this for 60 days, like I've been here and I can, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, what do you need from me? Do you need a letter from my employer? Because by law, your boss, if he lays you off, cuts your hours or whatever, they have to give you something in writing. They have to.
Right.
So if they're going to want that. Chase is going to, your mortgage company is going to want that. Your car loan payment is going to want that. If you get that, you need to write up front and say, look, man, I don't know how long this is going to take. are we seeing a dip in income yet? I don't, probably not, like it's going to take a minute, people are just now not starting to get checks and stuff. So I've had people on my timeline say, okay, so I can say COVID-19 and get all my, no, COVID-19 was 6 months, 2 years ago when you were delinquent on it. No, not at all. It's
Yeah.
like COVID-19 is March 13th and forward
Yeah.
for probably 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 months. We'll see. So I would say don't put your head in the sand. I would say don't try to overextend it. I'm not trying to call and put off every one of my bills, but I've already made the call to, like, if you got a $5,000 payment on your office, like, you should reach out and talk to your bank, or landlord, or whoever you do business with, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be a problem. I'm not talking about these $80 bills.
Right.
There's a lot of relief out there. Credit card companies are putting stuff on pause. Mortgage companies certainly are. What rent is one thing that's kind of really iffy right now. Some states are implementing non-eviction.
Yeah. Yeah. They already did that here in California, Los Angeles. They did that already.
Texas too. So which is cool. But Caesar, here's the problem. Like, on a mortgage company, Chase doesn't want 400,000 houses back right now. Whatever.
That's not their business, right? Yeah.
But a landlord, like, if you're not paying his rent, and if it's an owned free and clear property, that's where his income comes from. Like, he has a different. Can he put you on the street? No. But, like, you're not going to let you stay there for 6 months for free. That ain't going to happen.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So if you start pausing rent for 3 months, what's going to happen? I don't know if landlords are going to do that. What I would say on a landlord, like, be upfront about it and say, look, I can't pay $1,800 a month rent. What I can pay is probably about $800, because I'm still going to get my child support from my baby's dad.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost this, so I'm willing to let my car pause. I need my rent, but I can pay you $500. So I would work some deals. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, obviously.
The grease side, yeah.
Communication, dude, is everything. If I've learned one thing in my 30 years of business, like, it's so much easier to just address, especially problems and issues on the front side, and you walk right through them. And as opposed to, like, now I'm losing sleep. Now I'm doing this shit. I shouldn't have put that off. My rent now 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I would just over communicate, call, talk. There's resources out there. There's grant money out there. There's all kinds of stuff out there. There's all kinds of different things going on out there, help available. And man, if anybody, like, in my circle or whatever, and your friend, if I can help anybody or any of your listeners or whatever, man, like, hell, I'm looking for some credit repair salespeople. I'm trying to get virtual guys. So
there you go.
Need some income on that, like, So I would just say, communicate, talk. It ain't going nowhere. Like, let's prep for this and plan for this, and then, and let's walk right through it, not panic.
Yeah, no, you know what? And I really like that. I like the way you put it, and it comes down to make sure that even if you're fearful of making that uncomfortable call, or if it seems very uncomfortable, just freaking take the action and just do it. Like, if you know you cannot afford your car, just call them, just get it over with, because then you're losing more sleep. You have more stress over, on yourself, which is not good for you. It's not healthy. And so I like the way you put it. Just do it. Right. And I wasn't even thinking about it, except, you brought up another great point, and with, with all this, going on, it's not going to go nowhere. We already know that it's not going nowhere, at least not now, or not anytime soon. And so just being able to take action and communicate with your creditors, communicate with everyone, and understand what you're able to do given your circumstances, but don't just sit on the sideline. Reach out to people and figure out if anyone can help you, or what you can do for them to help yourself, right? And so that's a really great advice. I really enjoy that. So,
and man, what else, Caesar? What else I've learned, and I've learned this from girls like Tiffany, guys like you, Marshall Silver, and like, there's a lot of help. People want to help. There's a lot of help out there. Look, you and I, as men, as guys, whatever you want to call it, like, man, I was raised I don't know that I ever see my dad shed a tear. Seriously, like never happened, man. And so that's who we are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I'm gonna tell y'all, there's a lot of people out there willing to help you.
Yeah.
Steve's a great dude. This guy would do anything for you.
Yep.
I would too. So it's not like it was. I don't want to say we've become softer, but I think that we've become more caring.
Mm-hmm.
Like at 50 years old now, like when I was in my 20s, I knew everything, man. I
Yeah.
thought I did. I thought
Right.
I did. They tell me nothing. And I'm not like that anymore, man. I've like learned from it, and I try to give and train and learn and give my education or whatever, So there's a lot of help out there. People want to help you. People aren't laughing, especially in the online community. There's so many groups and
Yeah.
like, man, I've made a lot of great relationships and a really good tribe of people that, man, I'm really, really good friends with them. I go to source, and like, you think social media is a joke, or man, then I stay out of television, news, and all that stuff. Like, I get more positivity out of this,
Yep.
out of my social media stuff. And there's other guys like you that care and want to see me succeed.
Right.
And in the old days, everybody wanted to see their neighbor, be better than your neighbor and beat the loot. I hope they lose. It's not like that anymore.
Right.
If I could just encourage y'all, if you are going through something credit wise, like reach out to me, I'll help you. Or if it's something like, you want to do some digital programs, or you want to just like get cleaner in my own head and talk, like reach out to us, man. We're here.
Right. Definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. Billy, I really enjoyed this, man. It was really good, man. It was really great to connect with you again and speak to you. And any last things that you want to kind of mention to the viewers and the listeners?
No, let's do it again sometime. If anybody needs help with their credit, you can reach out to us. We're 700creditrepair.com. You can find me on Facebook, Billy Alt 700. And man, Caesar, I'd love to like, maybe we could do some Zoom meetings, get 5 or 6, 7, 8 people.
Yeah. Yeah, but we can definitely do like a little virtual seminar, educate people. I mean, I'll be definitely open to that. And that's one thing that I've been thinking about. How can we bring, different people like you and just help people out, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there's something we can give back. So yeah, let's talk about it. Definitely, let's do that. And then yeah, for all of you guys, I'm gonna have Billy's information so you guys can actually plug in, reach out to him, get his book. That's his business card. You can learn everything about Billy, and then make sure that you contact him for anything that is related to credit repair.
For sure. And also for my audience, we're live on my Facebook.
Yep.
We're doing this for his podcast to my audience, obviously. Yep. But Caesar also, he flips houses. You teach that. You have a digital course, and you kind of coach that and mentor that.
I do. Yeah, correct. Yeah. I have a mentoring programs for people that want to get into real estate investing and want to get into one of the, which is the easiest with very little money, which is the wholesaling aspect of that. So I do have a program for that. Yep.
Yeah. So you guys should reach out to, if you've ever wanted to get into real estate. Like right now, it's a really, really great time to figure that out and start working on that. But, I had said this earlier, like if I want to cut off that 5 years, I would, right. I mean, I know how long you've been doing this, and I know the flips you've done. Yep. Like when you make money on a flip, you're doing something right. That's just the bottom line. I know the money you talk about all that. So like if anybody needs some help shortening that curve and speeding up that process, he's your guy, man. He's awesome. Plus he's most money sources and stuff like that too. Yeah. So definitely use your own money and be a billionaire. It's not like that at all. So anyway. Right.
No, definitely not. Yep. Sounds good. Billy, thank you so much. And, really enjoyed our conversation.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, I'm Cesar Espino, real estate investor, business coach, and consultant, and author of the book, You Can Overcome Anything, Even When the World Says No. My number is 424-501-6046. In my book, I talk about making the necessary changes to shift your mind for prosperity and certainty. Pick up your copy at Amazon. I also love helping families with their real estate and can purchase your house fast and all cash. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My number is 424-501-6046.
Thank you for having me today. I am so glad you tuned in to this podcast. You can find me at Spreaker.com, where you can like and subscribe. And to learn more about myself and my services, you can find me at www.cesarrespino.com Or you can also find me at Facebook under Cesar R. Espino. Once again, thanks for joining me. I am looking forward to having you at the next episode, and know that you truly can overcome anything.